Hi there. Hey, I wanted to take a couple of minutes and go over kind of some of these plans that we have in place for you. I know that some of the questions that you had specifically were in regards in how we go to market in wanting a lot of specifics. And one of the things that I had mentioned a couple of times before, at least when doing Facebook, you're going to run into a couple of different things. We're going to go to market with a very specific idea in mind, and there's going to be things that we're going to find out about our customers along the way and how they react, and more importantly, what is important to them. Now, what I would like you to take a look at, you could certainly take a look at this video. This was a coaching video that I did for a chiropractor, and what his thing was is he wanted to start using a little bit more interaction to gain some customers. And I gave him some coaching. I called this Fact Friday Chiropractic Videos, and I went into some specifics about what to do, how to keep people's attention, just briefly show and tell time, show them how specifically you're going to perform a task. And what I had found out is there's a certain number of people that are very reluctant to go to chiropractors because of the manipulation that takes place with the neck. There are different styles and certainly different techniques to get away from that. And what I told them is I said, you need to have that conversation with people to let them know that there are several options out there. And that's just one of the things. One of the other things I had mentioned as well, it gets into this. We talk about some specifics that we were in a meeting together, and I said, hey, you need to have a conversation about this. Now, that was in regards to some snow removal in the Midwest. We deal a lot with that in the wintertime, and certainly that is a factor. Now, what I want to deal with next is I want to show you a couple of numbers and why this is important when we go to market and how it's important. This is the date that I started kind of taking over, so to speak, and helping coach a bit. And this is me a go live. So I said to him, hey, they need to know where to find you. Let's do a go live video and see if we can get some reaction to that. At that point, that go live video, it had a 220 person reach with 25 people actually clicking on it and then 8 people actually reacting to this video. It's pretty pathetic, to be honest with you. It's not one of my better go lives, but it was only there to really show him, hey, this is a tool. This is something that you need to use. One of the reasons that it wasn't wildly successful at the time truly was because his member likes were very, very low. At the time when I took over, even back on the 29th year, he had, I think, less than 100 people that liked him on Facebook. And since, myself really kind of getting engaged, we've been able to almost double that in a very short order. But what is important is to take a look at how people react to not only the right message, and certainly this is going to be an important piece of it as well, not only the message, but the right message and how it's put out there. And in this case, I told him, hey, look, you need to do a video. You need to show people how affable, how nice, how fun you are. You can look at all of this in the video. And I coached him, and we started off here. Look, a little split success right here. Again, now we're at 180 people in our organic search or in our organic likes, which, by the way, it wasn't that when we did this right now. But if you wanted to just look at it, look, 349 hits on the organic. That was his first right out of bat. He's already starting to build up some audience. He's got 60 post clicks and 55 people reacting to it. Now, what's important to understand is how people are reacting to this can really be a force multiplier. When people are going in there and reacting, they're sharing, they're having a conversation, this gets back into the, hey, we want to push this conversation forward. Hey, I'm here to answer questions, and you're pushing that conversation constantly forward. That will get you more reactions. Now let's move forward to 12/5. 12/5, colder weather, and the holidays are upon us. And I told him, I said, you need to be more informational, give them some information. And it's really like, in a church service, there's the music, and then there's high, and there's this low, and there's this slow part, and you give them information, and then you move on. And what you're going to see here is really that natural wave, that crest and flow. Now look, 552 in the organic reach, 104 post clicks, fantastic, and then look, 40 reactions. These are 40 people that you could possibly connect with in a real way and have a conversation about your service. Now look, what happens? There's that valley again, and why is it? Because in this particular case, the ad copy was very simple and flat. It was informational, and it wasn't a video. Now we fast forward to 12/8, the video at the very beginning, my coaching that started there, and look, crush, home run, 861 on the reach, 169 clicks on it because it was interactive, it was fun, it was relevant to the time, it was snowing. And again, all of these things are just data points. We're going to be able to connect these data points. I know that you want these specifics. but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen until we find out what's most important to your audience, and then we are going to kung fu punch that exact little thing with one little finger, and we're going to win that way. So, I mean, I'm showing this as evidence right now that you can take a look at. We've got 861 on the actual, and this again, look right here, organic reach, not paid reach. Now, what we can typically find out is by testing some of these at 861 people with 169 post clicks. That's a phenomenal split, 169-72. These again are your warm, hot leads that you can work. What this should tell us is that if this is taking off, if this particular message is reacting well with people, and we're going to be engaged, we're going to be seeing this on the back end, that ultimately boosting that means that this number should, based on our level of effort, this gets into why we want to be able to have the flexibility of having you put down that $1,500. We know that there is time that you need to put the pedal to the metal, and I don't have time to give you a phone call and say, okay, let's move forward with this. I mean, if I have the message and it's out there, I know that I'm going to get the engagements, and if we are there to market with the right message, we're going to get the reactions, the comments, the actions, and ultimately the conversions. What does that mean? You know, and I know that means sales. So this is empirical evidence of what I can tell you, real numbers. And what do numbers do? They never lie. I didn't come up with these numbers. These numbers are based on Facebook, a third party, obviously. And what do we know? We know that anytime that there's a lot of action, we know that attention draws money. And I mean, this is the best that I can give you right now. With this particular engagement, you're going to get reactions, you're going to get what you want. But again, some of it is truly understanding that you get on the bus and it leaves from point A to point B. And as long as we have the right members on this with the right conversation, we're going to move it forward. Anyhow, that's my best. That's what I can explain to you. That's what I know. I hope that gives you some peace of mind. This is exactly what the conversation I would have had with you over the phone today as far as next steps. Next steps for us look like this. We need to get on the phone, and then we need to write out our ad campaign for the next 3 months. And then we're going to move forward, and it's going to change. Again, to reiterate, I will just say, or to reiterate, again, totally wrong word. To reiterate, it's really going to look day one on day 90 completely, potentially completely different, or it could be spot on and stay the same. But again, static is dead. We have to move. We have to constantly be changing to what our needs are of our customers. No different. It's the DNA of the universe. All right, I'm out. Thanks.